My name is Javier Martinez. I own a software company called Mobile Binaries. We do GPS tracking. We help companies track their fleets. And how I came to 10 Makers is, I was just explaining earlier, I normally door knock. That's my primary marketing strategy. Whenever I go on the street and I see a bunch of vans parked or vehicles or construction equipment, God's telling me to pull over and door knock. So that's what I actually do. So I ended up, I was hungry on the freeway, got off the freeway, had lunch, and then I was driving by and I saw printing company. It's like, oh, okay, I see vans. Let me go door knock, you know. So I opened up the door and Kimberly was the receptionist. And I said, hello, my name is Javier, and we do this. And she goes, oh, I think you need to talk to Robert. I'm all, yes, I do need to talk to Robert, right? So he goes, let me call him. Robert comes in, and he goes, oh, you know, I was just about to have a meeting with a company like yours. God sent you. It's like, absolutely, God sent me here. So, and then the rest is history. I'm here now talking to you guys. So that's basically how I came about 10 Makers. So nobody invited me but God actually just brought me here. So, you know, end up, you know, I said to just scratch in about 2007. So if you noticed, I left you guys some notebooks in there. I was going through my library and I ran into a bunch of notebooks that I had, and they were all filled up. And they were dated back in 2007 when I had just accepted Jesus Christ. So then I was reading them and I was looking at them and seeing all the prayer requests that I had in there, you know, and a lot of them were already fulfilled. You know, I was a single dad back in 2007, and I was praying for a wife, a family, and I was praying for a business. You know, I had a job up then, and 10 years later, 12 years later, I'm happily married. I have my business, and I saw a bunch of things that happened to my life that have been come through, and it's all through prayer. Because I was praying, and I wrote them down. So I figure every time that I'm going to present, I'm going to provide a free notebook for you guys. I did that to my men ministry. You know, I did it. Everybody gets one. You know, if you're a new member, if I say hi to you, I'm going to be giving you a notebook so you can start writing it down. And the whole idea is that once you fill it up, let me know and I'll get you another one. So you just keep writing stuff, because that's how we keep our thoughts, our prayers on paper, and we're more likely going to go over them again, and we're more likely going to see how God has impacted in our lives. The changes, the struggles, the successes we've had, you know, are there. So anyway, that's my gift to you guys. So it's like I'm almost like bringing you guys to school, but I did it to myself, and I will not be presenting to you guys or giving you something that I haven't done myself, you know, so for that. So that's the whole idea for that. And the topic of my presentation is making hard changes in me. I know we're business owners. Some of us may have employees, some of us may not. At the end of the day, whether you have employees or not, you reflect and represent your business. You and your business are one of the same. You know, if your business is successful, it's because more likely you are being successful in your business. But that's not necessarily your personal life. Your personal life might be one way, and your business might be another way. So people say, well, I'm very successful, therefore my personal life is successful. Not necessarily. Sometimes your personal life might be successful, but your business is not. So we have to find a balance, and I think a lot of it starts with us. A lot of it starts with us, and you know, the way for me to help you guys analyze that is I give you guys a little flyer, also a little circle. We'll go over that. It's a personal assessment, and it's not going to share with nobody. This is a confidential between you and God, you and your Creator. So let's go over it, and it'll take us a couple of minutes. So, and basically, you're going to put a dot in where you feel you're at. So let's start with the first one. So, how do we feel spiritually on a scale 1 to 10? How would you grade yourself? You know, how would you grade yourself? Just put a dot in there. You know, either 1, 2, 3, 10. Doesn't matter. Just put a dot in there for that. So, how would you grade yourself? And the next one, let's go over it. How about your mental state? Are you depressed? Are you excited? You know, where are you at right now, mentally?
Come on.
You know, you're not going to share it. This is between just you and your creator. So I'm not going to call on you. I'm not going to say, tell me how you feel mentally. You know, did you took your Prozac today or not? Nothing like that. Just between you and that. So let's put it in there, okay? So your mental. So the other one's kind of hard, I know. How about your family, your relationship with your wife, girlfriend, you know, fiance, children, you know? Where are you at? Where are you at with them, you know? How would you grade it? You know, because it's all one person. It's all one, you know, your business and you are one of the same. So where are you at in that, for that, so on your family? How about your career? You know, yeah, we're business owners, but we all have career in there, you know. Where are we at? Are we at the level where we want to be? Do we have where we want to achieve? You know, I know for a fact that I'm nowhere near where I want to be, you know. And I pray to God every day for guidance, wisdom, to where to take me. But we, you know, where I'm at, so let's prove that. The other one is your personal relationships, your friends, you know, co-workers, acquaintances. Where are you at with them? You know, where you at really? You know, I know that I have a lot of acquaintances, especially since I'm in ministry now. I have very few friends. You know, I just have very few friends, and a lot of it is because of me. You know, because of me at the end of the day. You know, we all have a guard, so in my little circle, I'm very protective. I don't let a whole lot of people come in. You know, a lot of it is because I don't trust them, but how am I not going to trust them if I don't get to know them first? So we tend to have that. So where are we at on our personal relationships? So it's a whole lot. So let's put that in there. How about our finances? Where we are in our finances? You know, is our checking account overdrawn? Do we have enough savings? We're business owners, and most of the business owners don't pay their Social Security. You guys know that? You know, very few pay the Social Security, you know, for our retirement. You know, we don't have a payroll. Even though we are employees of the company, we just don't. You know, financially is the biggest issue that I see in a lot of business owners that I deal with day to day. Very few actually have a paycheck that they get. Even if it's $100, you know, they don't get that. Yeah, they do get the profits of the business, right? They also get the write-offs and everything, but they do not get a payroll. You know, they do not pay into Social Security. They do not pay into their retirement. They do not workers' comp. They don't pay all that. You know, so when they get injured, they don't collect because they're injured. You know, and therefore they don't have workers' comp. All that it has a lot to do with our business, how we run our business. It has to be how successful we are. You know, and we as business owners should be able to tell each other that we should at least be contributing to some way, somehow. Because when you get old, I'm not going to be there, but you are going to be old. You know, I'm going to be old, and we should be able to at least talk to each other right now and say, hey, but even if you just pay a little bit, pay something for the financial, for that. It's just we have to do that. So, and the last point that I have is how our physical. I had a physical with a doctor about 2 months ago. Basically told me if you keep it up, you're going to be diabetic. That's it. You're going to be type 2 diabetic. So just keep it. I told you last year you're going to be diabetic. I'm telling you again, you're going to be diabetic. That was a wake-up call. You know, I'm overweight. You know, I'm 5'7", 200 pounds. You know, Hispanics run diabetes run high in Hispanics. You know, so it's like that was a big wake-up call. You know, and I could feel that the effects of being diabetic. You know, again, I have contributed started to my diet. You know. But I love eating. I love Mexican food. Amen. I love tortillas. How can you tell me not to have tortillas?
Come on.
Carbs are so delicious, you know. I'm just hungry all the time right now. So don't tell me about food. I just know that I'm hungry all the time. So it's like, but the benefits of it's far exceed my hunger. So I rather so I started diet like slowly. I haven't lost a whole lot of weight, but it started. The whole thing is starting something and finish it off. Because it's part of me. As far as my finances, part of my physical, and if I get diabetic, then that would be horrible. If I get injured, how I'm going to provide for my family? So that's why our physical things. So now we basically went around the whole circle that I have. So you have a little dot in all of them. So connect all your dots now, if you guys don't mind. just connect your dots. You know, wherever you are, all of just connect them real quick. So it should look like this.
Okay.
Once you connect them, like that. So like that. So basically, as you can see, I have a flat tire. That's why I looked at it. I even wrote down when I wrote, I have a flat tire. So now that you know, if you guys were honest with each other, we know where we're at as a person. So therefore, if we know where we're high on some, where we're low on some, then we can really make some changes to ourselves. A lot of people, when they're in businesses, you're really good at that, blah, blah, blah. So you should continue to do that. And I love that idea, but well, if you're really good at that, why don't you improve what you're really bad at? Bring it up, so you can have more of a balance in your business, in your life, We develop software a lot, I decided to do my website a couple of years ago. It's horrible, because we did it internally. We're not good at that.
Yeah.
I look at it, and I was proud when we came up with our website, but it's like, no, we're not good at that. So I just hired a professional to do that, because that's what they do. They do website development. The people hire us. I was talking earlier about my frenemies, I call them. They're enemies because they're my competitors in the same business, but they hire us because we install really good equipment. So they're okay to let us install it. They know what their weakness is at. So we're really good installers in the tracking industry. So we're good at that. We're horrible at website design. We're horrible at search engine optimization. We're horrible at other things. So now we realize we need to hire people who are experts on their field, because that's the expertise. I'm okay paying a little extra for that because I don't have to worry about it. Money is not sometimes everything, sometimes it costs us not to do something right, because we save $1 at the end of the day. If we do it right, we're going to double pay. Had I done the website 3 years ago correctly, I wouldn't have to do it again, and not waste three years of my life, of my business life. So rather just pay extra, get it done right the first time. So that's why I'm a big proponent of having the right person do the right job, and sometimes it's not the price. So there will always be somebody that does the job cheaper, and there will always be somebody that does it more expensive. And price sometimes is not the ideal thing. So that's why I wanted to do that. So, all right. So let's jump into the actual discussion. I left you guys also a little paper in there, if you guys have it. So it's making hard changes in me. So now that we know where we at, as a person, since I gave you guys the little wheel, I have a flat tire like I told you guys. So hopefully you guys don't have a flat tire. Hopefully you guys aren't gonna roll, So, but one of the things is, what do we do what we do? Sometimes we do it because we've done it so long that it becomes second nature to us. I procrastinate all the time. That is one of the biggest things that I have. I tend to start something and then it's okay, I'll do it later. And then later comes, and then I'll do it later. And then it's just, I never started, because I've been procrastinating and getting started. So that's one of my biggest challenges, Once I get it going, I'll finish it. But just a lot of it is procrastinating on my part as a person, So that's, we all have our flaws. So it's, a lot of it, this is what we do. So a lot of it, my defects feels good. That's the second one, because it feels good, I feel comfortable, and it's like, I don't have to do it now, And procrastinating hasn't gotten me into too much trouble, so it feels good, right? So that's, do I have to, get ready? Nah, maybe later on. I'll just wait for that, until the last minute, then I'll do it halfway where I could have done a much better job for it. So, because it just feels good, right? There's no pain in there for me, so for that. So the fourth one is because it pays off, really. I can do a lot of stuff and that, just pays off because it's just, I've done it so long, it feels good that, like I said, there's no pain for that. So the last one is actually because Satan allows it to. You know, Satan, uses us all the time.
Yeah.
Especially in my ministry, when I'm preparing for a study and I'm procrastinating it. The devil, takes pride in that because he knows my playbook really.
Mm-hmm.
He knows it so well, better than I do. And the thing is that since he knows my playbook, he runs the play on me over and over and over, until I have to do something about it. And a lot of it because he knows the playbook. There's in football you have defense and you have offenses. And you have two defensive coordinators and defensive coordinators. Everybody has a different playbook, right? It's like, okay, this team is going to run this play because they run this play. I'm going to run this play to counterattack it, But they're thinking about it, right? So how we do that ourselves. The very first thing we have to do takes us to bullet point number 1. The real change starts in our mind. When death entered this world, it wasn't when Adam, bit the fruit. He wasn't there. It actually started when he changed his mind, when he decided to disobey God. That's when the real sin started. Biting the fruit was just the aftermath. But it all started with his mindset. The real change started with his mindset, And for us to change, it has to start with our mindset. We have to make a change. We have to decide enough's enough, and I have to do something about it.
Yeah.
When the biggest changes in our lives happens when we are in our lowest point. That's when change happens. When we're successful in doing something, more likely we're not going to change at all. Because we're successful. There's no pain. That's why a lot of times God allows us to struggle. God allows pain in our lives because He doesn't really care for our comfort, but for our outcome, really. So, but now until we decide to change, and it all starts in your mind, and nobody can do that but yourself. Nobody can. I can tell my kids, don't do this. I've done it. And then they go ahead and do it. And then I tell them, I told you so. But then it's my fault at the end of the day, because I told them I told you so, then therefore, so once they realize that they did it, then they change, right? And I'm the same way, because I did that same thing to my mom. So we all have to do in our mind change. That is the hardest thing. So in order for me to stop procrastinating it, is to start doing it.
Yeah.
Not wait for the last minute.
Yeah,
right?
start early.
So if I don't like door knocking. I've gotten the most success out of door knocking, but I procrastinate doing it. So if I need more sales, what do you think I'm going to be doing? Door knocking. I mean, there's a lot of people have different methods of how to generate sales for their business, and I value them. I personally, they're not going to, hang up on me. They're not going to. I'm in front of them, and I'll close it eventually. Just it's a numbers game, right? So, but again, procrastinating is my number one problem that I have, and I have to change it. So, and that is the number one. So let's go number 2 now. Number 2 is learning the truth. That's why I have you guys do the little self-assessment, because if we're true to ourselves, once we did this self-assessment, then we know where we are weak. Remember I told you that most people say that, if you're really good at that, keep doing that. And I told you that I'm of the opposite way, that when I do feel really bad, do the bad thing first, increase that. Because we're trying to be true to ourselves, we know where we're bad, right? So I need to improve on my relationship with my kids, especially the ones that are in college. They're away, and I don't talk to them anymore, because they're doing their thing. One is 24, the other one's 20, and they're out of the house, and I want to talk to them all the time, but they don't want to talk to me. It's not cool to talk to their dad anymore. I remember my little girl taking her everywhere, but now she's not cool to be with her dad. And that bugs me, because I want to talk to her. But I have to find ways to interact with my kids. I just don't know how. That's in my personal life, in my family life, that is my weakest point right now that I struggle with, and I need to improve that. I need to find them on their way, not so much on my way, because I've been expecting, especially my daughter, I've been expecting her to come to me. Well, let me go to her, you know. I need to find a way though, so I'm going to ask for prayers for that. So, but that is my biggest weakness in that. On my business, it's I'm a little bit of a controller, I guess, you know. Because for the longest, I wouldn't let people do my own software. I wouldn't let people do this because I can do it better. Well, yeah, I could probably do it better, but that takes a lot of time. I'd rather go close a deal than pay somebody to do it for me, you know. So that requires change, you know. That requires for me to think, okay, this is not good for your business. Change it, and then do something about it for that. So that's the other thing that we do. And a lot of business owners, I don't think that I'm unique on this aspect, because we tend to do it ourselves, we tend to want to do it, so we just have to do that. So the third bullet point that I got is we got a clean house. We got a clean house. You know, we gotta start finding out what works and what doesn't. Sometimes we have to cut ties with toxic people. You know, sometimes we gotta say, you know, brother, I love you, or sister, I love you, but I need to let you go.
Yeah.
And you don't have to make a big deal, a big scene. Just stop communicating. You know, a lot of people, you know, they mean well, but that's all they do. A lot of people are just toxic. We need to move on. You know, if it's not improving our lives, or we're not improving them, move on. Because you're just wasting your time. You know? Sometimes in your business. And that is the hardest thing, to let go of somebody. You know, I've had I guess the opportunity to fire customers.
That's true.
Because it becomes a point that I'm not meeting their needs, and if I'm not meeting their needs, then I need to make them successful. If it's not with me, somewhere else. So I just let them go, you know. Because if they're only giving me so much money, and they're taking so much bandwidth of me, then I need to say, you know, there's a balance here that, you know, obviously I don't have the expertise or the attention to fulfill your needs. So you can go ahead and find somebody else. That is the hardest thing that you can do, you know. But we have to move on, because somebody else does pay your bills, and you have to go ahead and do that, you know. So that's, but it's I've done it maybe twice, and they've done it to me twice, and it just sucks, you know. But it is part of life, you know. My biggest customer I lost like a couple of years ago, and it was because I didn't do nothing wrong. I just didn't meet their needs. So I said, okay, you know. But then they said, well, I'll refer you to whoever you can. I just didn't meet their needs. It's okay, they fired me, no big deal. But, you know, it just hurts. So, but we have to be able to move forward. So for that, so you got a clean house. You got a clean house, and you got to see where you're weak. Since you guys were honest with yourself, with the circle, you got to know where you're weak, where you're struggling, especially personal relationships. Those are the most time-consuming, because if they become toxic in your life, more likely they're going to become toxic in your business. Because if you start having personal issues into your business life, your customers will know it. Whether you tell them or not, they're going to know it. They're going to feel it. And then your work performance is going to be decreased. And therefore your paycheck is going to be decreased. And it all started because of your personal life. So you have to be able to say, you know what, cut the umbilical cord and move forward. I don't know you know yourself, and you know where it is. I'm just telling you, this is how we do it. So the number 4 is honest community. There's a big reason why there's a Bible verse, this iron sharpening iron. And this is exactly what we're doing right now. You know, it's we have to be able to find a brother or sister that should be able to call you out. You know, so, almost like an accountability partner. That you should be able to tell them this is what's going on, and if you're lying to yourself, that person say, you know what, this is what I see. And this is what you're doing right, and this is what you're doing wrong, and it should be reciprocal too. You're not gonna get that overnight. It's not gonna happen tomorrow. It builds over time, you know, but you have to put the effort, the time in building this relationship. So you can go ahead and start, you know, slowly building it up. So that person, your accountability partner, later on sees where you're at, say 6 months, a year from now, and you start telling them, this is what I'm going through with my wife, or girlfriend, or boyfriend, whatever, then they know your past and where you're at because they have a history with you. And then they can go ahead and give you advice. You might not take it, but at least you know somebody else's point of view as opposed to your own personal point of view. You know, and that is the best thing that I can suggest for you to have an accountability partner. Call it whatever. I call it accountability partner. Other people call it friends. Other people call it, you know, girlfriends. Other people call it whatever. You know, at the end of the day, somebody that can reach you. You know, usually, I suggest not to have a opposite gender person. You know, I suggest to have a same gender person. You know, same. So it'd be a woman to woman, man to man. It's okay to have an older person, more like a mentor or mentoree. So those are the best ways. Sometimes it's better to, and people say, well, he's older and I'm younger, so that he's going to be my mentor. Age is irrelevant. The mentor could be younger, and the person could be older.
Yeah, it depends on how much expertise he's
Exactly. It all depends, because it's if you're mentoring somebody, say on a business, then it's different because you have done more business than the other person. So it's the mentor-mentoree. It doesn't matter. Age is relevant, but I do encourage you to be the same gender. So it's a lot easier that way, you know, because it just works a lot more better than that, than having a man and woman gender type. So that's what I encourage for that. So. Number 5, out of time. Number 5 is we need coaching. You know, LeBron James has a coach. You know, Kobe Bryant had a coach, right? Tom Brady has a coach. And these are professional athletes. Why can we not have a coach? You know,
Tell him.
really? Why can we not have a coach? You know. We all need a coach, you know, and a coach is not somebody who was better than you, really. It's just somebody who can guide you. That's all it is. It's almost like a mentor, but this is a true coach, you know, that you can actually do, you know. Especially in business, we need a coach. We need a coach that we can go ahead and ask advice on how to do it, because they have different strategies, different methods. And then you can look at it and help you out with business, you know. Say you're on a trade industry or service industry, try to get a coach that specializes in that. You know, if you're in the plumbing industry, for example, and you get a coach that specializes in software, wrong coach. It's like getting a basketball coach that's really good in football. Wrong coach. You know. So take your time in finding the right coach for that. You know, he might know, like, there's a play, or I read it on Google, and this is what you will do. But the whole idea is try to get the right coach for that. And not all coaches are the right coach for you, the right fit. Some personalities drive with other personalities. I was reading online that LeBron James was undermining Luke Walton, you know, the coach. Wrong personalities, you know. You know, I knew it wasn't going to work out, you know. The minute he got traded to Lakers, that coach is gone. So I just saw it. So you find the right coach that works for you in your industry, in your budget. So there's a bunch of really good coaches, you know, for that. So next one, actually, this is probably one of the most important ones. It requires faith. It requires God. It requires for you to pray, you know. If you ask me to pray at early in the morning, you're asking me to fall asleep. You know, if you really ask me to pray at 5 in the morning and be on my knees, you're asking me to be, that's my bed right there, so you're never going to find me praying for that, you know.
or at that time. You're gonna find me praying every time I'm at a traffic light, every time that, you know, I think of something. I pray, I don't know how many prayers I have a day. I don't count them. I'm just constantly praying. That is my way of praying, you know. If some guys or ladies, they're great prayer warriors and they sit down and pray. They're blessed to do that, but I just don't do that. Seriously, if you ask me at night, I'm too beat to pray. Again, I'll fall asleep again at night. So I have so much things going on. When I go to bed, my mind is still running, you know. So, and I'll just fall asleep. So, but I will pray every day, and so many times I pray. So, find out what works for you. That's all I'm trying to say. Whatever method of prayer works for you, pray. Prayer, God answers all the prayers. In 2007, I was praying to start my business, and I started. Obviously, his timing was not my timing, because I had just, you know, quit my job, and there was no jobs to find. So it's like, okay, I have so much money, and it's going to waste because I'm spending it because I need to, you know, meet my family's needs, you know. But what can I do with that amount of money in such a short amount of time? So then I just started calling people around, and I started my company with very little money. So because a lot of relationships that I had, I said I need a contract with Verizon, I need a contract with T-Mobile, I need a contract with this and this. They were just giving me my pure word that I was going to deliver. So I got a bunch of contracts because of that. It's all God's timing. Could I done it when I had just closed the company or a big contract and I had a huge commission and I could go start a business? That would be the best time for me to do it. That wasn't God's plan. My prayer was to start a business. My prayer was not to do it when I have a bunch of money. So be specific with your prayers also. You have to be specific, you know, because otherwise He will deliver your prayer. Because if we're not specific, He'll deliver when He wants to. And since we're not specific, it might not be at your time. So don't be afraid to ask for details also. Right now I'm praying to have enough money so I can buy a car. You know, a classic car, a 1964 Thunderbird I want to buy. And I want to buy cash, right? So I'm seriously,
What color?
a couple of days, black and black. You know, black. I'm telling you, I'm being specific. And a couple of days ago, my wife called me and goes, "What are you doing?" Daydreaming. She goes, "What are you doing?" "I'm on eBay. I'm going to buy a car. I have no cash. I was going to go buy a car." She goes, "Where do you go?" And I was telling her exactly what I want, you know. And I'm pricing them because I know that once I have the money, I'm going to go buy it. And I'm praying to God exactly what I want to buy. You know, I don't have the money right now. I don't have the money nowhere close to it. But I'm asking God that I want to buy the car right now. Why not be specific? You know, so I can ask Him so for that. Anyway, the last bullet point is number 7. We need to have a business plan. Whatever you do, you need to have a business plan. For your personal life, you need to have a business plan. For your relationships, you need to have a business plan. You know, where you want to be. For your business, you need to have a business plan. For your ministry, if you guys are a bunch ministry leaders, you need to have a business plan. Business plans are 1 year, 3 year, 5 year plans, right? Well, great. In 5 years, you're not going to do a business plan in 5 years overnight. You got to do it within maybe 3 years. So a 1 year plan, you do it within a week, a month, and then it becomes 12 months, right? That's how it starts. So wherever you want to do in your personal life, you need to have a business plan. Where you want to, in your finances, where you want to be at, you need to have a business plan. In your ministry, you know, where you want to be. I'm having a meeting with my guys. Right now I'm averaging about 100 men on a weekly basis that go to the men ministry at Rancho Capistrano. So we have 2 sessions. Right now the Tuesday session is about 60 guys. Now by Thursday morning it's about 20 to 25. We're about to launch Saturday because my goal is to have 250 guys on a weekly basis. My goal is to have more men ministry, more attending than Lake Forest. And their Lake Forest is maybe about 12 times bigger than me. And I will have them bigger than they are. Because I'm asking God specific to what I'm going to do. Their ministries, the men ministry in Saddleback is under attack, basically. So their numbers are diminishing, ours are increasing. And with the Lord's help, my ministry will be bigger than Lake Forest. And they're averaging 20,000 members a week, you know. So, and we'll have it. God's gonna make it happen. And how are we gonna do this? We need to have a plan of attack. How am I gonna do it on a weekly basis? How am I gonna do it on a monthly basis? Where are we gonna be at? What studies we're gonna do? You know, how are we gonna attract those guys? You know, how are we gonna bring them to Christ? You have to have a plan. On my business, I have a business plan. I've had a business for a long time. It's changed so many times. So it has to be a live document, right? You cannot just have it and then not look at it. It has to change it as you move on.
Right.
Especially with your business, your ministry, and your finances, and your personal life, especially. One of my business plans is to have a better relationship with my daughter, my sister, my brother. That's it for that. So anyway, that's all I got. I know I've run out of time. I can talk
Great.
more. So.